After Iran moves to its Khamenei 2.0 era, has Ali Larijani just delivered the most chilling warning yet, one that instantly rattles nerves in Washington? In the fury that followed Khamenei's killing, is Larijani now openly warning Donald Trump that it is he who should watch out for elimination? As Trump threatens to hit Iran 20 times harder, did Tehran just fire back with a veiled assassination warning aimed straight at the US president? After Larijani's threat, are US officials now bracing for a deadlier, more personal phase of Iran's response? One that goes beyond bases and tankers? Is Washington losing control of its own escalation ladder as the Pentagon itself warns that today will bring the most intense day of strikes inside Iran so far? With talk of assassinations, regime change and oil wars colliding, is this conflict now creating a new monster neither side can easily tame? A top Iranian security figure has now directly threatened Donald Trump, pointedly telling him to be careful not to get eliminated as the war deepens. Ali Larijani's message was unusually blunt, warning Trump to watch out for yourself, lest you be eliminated, and turning US threats back at the president personally. Tehran's warning came after Trump vowed to hit Iran 20 times harder if it tried to choke off oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. On March 10th, Larijani mocked what he called Trump's paper threats on X, implying that bigger men than Trump had failed to break Iran. He went on to warn that the Strait of Hormuz could either remain a route of peace for all, or become a corridor of suffering for warmongers. The subtext of his posts is clear: if the war escalates further, Iran could once again turn shipping and oil traffic in Hormuz into frontline targets. Larijani said, and I quote, "The Ashura-loving nation of Iran does not fear your paper threats. Even those greater than you could not eliminate the Iranian nation. Watch out for yourself, lest you be eliminated. Strait of Hormuz will either be a strait of peace and prosperity for all or will be a strait of defeat and suffering for warmongers." Unquote. This exchange followed Trump's latest warning that Iran must not try to block the Strait of Hormuz or threaten global oil routes. On March 9th, Trump said Washington would strike Iran 20 times harder if it attempted to halt oil shipments through the chokepoint. He added that the US could hit Iran's military and economic assets so hard that it would become virtually impossible for Tehran to rebuild them quickly. Trump framed keeping Hormuz open as a core global energy security priority, not just a narrow US concern. The Strait of Hormuz currently carries roughly 1/5 of the world's daily oil shipments, making it one of the most sensitive lanes on Earth. As Iran settles on its new supreme leader, Trump has now issued his first reaction to Mojtaba Khamenei taking the top job. Speaking to Fox News, Trump said he is not happy with Mojtaba's elevation and made clear he does not see him as a partner for peace. "I don't believe he can live in peace," Trump said, even as US and Israeli strikes continue to rain down on Iranian territory. Yet in the same breath, Trump left the door ajar, saying talks with Mojtaba are possible depending on the terms and battlefield reality. Meanwhile, US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warned that today would be the most intense day of strikes yet inside Iran under Operation Epic Fury.
The mullahs are desperate and scrambling. Like the terrorist cowards they are, they fire missiles from schools and hospitals, deliberately targeting innocents, because they know their military is being systematically degraded and annihilated. Iran's neighbors, and in some cases, former allies in the Gulf, they've abandoned them. And their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas, either broken, ineffective, or on the sidelines. Iran stands alone, and they are badly losing. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning, with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives, which are the same as the day I gave my first briefing here on Operation Epic Fury. They're straightforward, and we are executing them with ruthless precision. 1, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base. Missiles and their ability to make them. 2, destroy their navy. And 3, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever. It's a laser-focused, maximum authority mission delivered with overwhelming and unrelenting precision. No hesitation, no half measures. As President Trump declared yesterday, We're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. But we do so. We do so on our timeline and at our choosing. For example, today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet.
Hegseth's warning landed just as the IDF reported a new salvo of ballistic missiles inbound from Iran toward Israeli territory. Hours earlier, Tehran claimed its drones had already hit an oil refinery and fuel tanks in the Haifa area, tying its retaliation to Israel's energy backbone. At the same time, Israeli strikes hit Kerman Airport inside Iran, damaging part of the airfield and at least 2 older aircraft parked there. Iranian outlets say earlier waves also struck around Tehran's Mehrabad Airport and Bushehr terminal, expanding the list of aviation sites under fire. Runways, hangars, and radar detection systems are now becoming regular targets in the nightly bombardments, as both sides go after each other's ability to see and launch.
Our will is endless. Ultimately, the president gets to determine the end state of those objectives, right? But what he's said continually, and I want the American people to understand, is this is not endless. It's not protracted. We're not allowing mission creep. The president has set a very specific mission to accomplish. And our job is to unrelentingly deliver that.
They're adapting, as are we. Of course, we have very entrepreneurial warfighters out there. I'd rather not, for operational security reasons, tell them what's working. So I'm going to not answer that question based on that. But we are watching what they're doing, and we are adapting faster than they are.
Are they more formidable than you anticipated, General?
I think they're fighting, and I respect that, but I don't think they're more formidable than what we thought.
Big mistake by the Iranian regime to start targeting its neighbors right away, exposing who they are and what they're all about. Indiscriminate targeting, flailing recklessly at the beginning. I can't say that we anticipated necessarily that's exactly how they would react, but we knew it was a possibility. And I think it was a demonstration of the desperation of that regime then and that regime now, that they still think their pathway out is to try to alienate their Arab partners even more, who've instead decided to come to us and have been willing to go on the offense, have been giving us access, spacing, and overflight in a new partnership that will continue to remake the region the way that President Trump did with the Abraham Accords. No nation takes more precautions to ensure there's never targeting of civilians than the United States of America. From the boat strikes in the Caribbean, where every single strike is assessed to this campaign here, no nation in the history of warfare has ever attempted in every way possible to avoid civilian casualties. And frankly, that's a point that just isn't appreciated enough. Where things happen that need to be investigated, we will investigate to the question shouted in the back. That it's not open source is not the place to determine what did or did not happen. We take things very, very seriously and investigate them thoroughly, which takes time, and which is why it does take time. But ultimately, unlike Iran, who targets civilians indiscriminately, who we've seen in the intel moving rocket launchers into civilian neighborhoods, near schools, near hospitals, to try to prevent our ability to strike. That's how they operate. And then they set the targeting of drones and missiles toward civilian targets, hospitals, hotels, airports. CENTCOM's been very good about putting that information out. That's how terrorist regimes fight. They target civilians. We do not.